Crystal with Stitching in the Green Mountains. This is my YouTube channel where I share what I'm working on with cross stitch and then occasionally other projects as well, such as knitting, sewing, do quilting, sewing projects, quilting projects. Occasionally there may be some crochet popping up in there. I also spin yarn, so I probably won't share much on that, but I may show you some skeins that I've completed, but we'll see. Today we're talking about cross stitch. This is video number 3, Flosstube number 3. And if you're new, welcome. I'm glad you found me on the on YouTube. There are so many Flosstube channels to watch, so welcome to mine. I hope you like what you see. First, I wanted to mention I made an error in my video last time, which has been 2 weeks. I shared a piece that I had completed years ago. I wasn't sure how many years ago. It was a gift for my husband as an anniversary gift, and I think I said the designer's name incorrectly. I put it correctly in the notes, but I wanted to mention it here. The pattern is I Simply Love You, and it is designed by Ruth Sparrow Gendron, and it's twisted threads. So this was the chart, the pattern, I should say, not the chart, but the pattern, and this is the correct designer. So that was distributed by Twisted Threads. I think that was a copyright 2004. Yes, 2004, Twisted Threads and Ruth Sparrow Gendron. So I wanted to make sure I corrected myself there. So it's been 2 weeks since I last did a video, and I have been working on primarily three pieces. And the first one I'll show you is the wedding gift for my cousin and her husband. Now they are married. So this is late, but this is in addition to their other gift. So, so I made a little more progress on this. So this is kind of a wedding piece for them. So it has, as I've shown before, this motif here at the top and the reverse image here at the bottom. And in the center, if I hold it correctly, is their last name and wedding date. So I believe last time I shared this center portion was completed. And there was actually some fill in here that wasn't done. So I've completed that and then extended the design here on each side. So as you can see, it has to go a little further, but it's getting much closer. So I should have a finish on this by the next video in 2 weeks. So I do have a little bit of life updates I'll share as well when I get through the cross stitch pieces. So probably 2 weeks on this one. Now I did finish the Prairie Schooler, which Santa, I think it was 2017, the one that was completed. So I was allowed myself to start a new holiday piece, which is a Teresa Kogut, Struttin, and this was the piece that I started. I'm going to look at my notes here when I actually started that one. I started that August 25th. So I did wait until the 25th. I think I had mentioned that I might, and actually I managed to do that. So this was the design. It was just so cute. It's a small piece. I think I was able to work on that 3 times. Today is Friday September 3rd. So between the 25th and the 3rd, I've worked on this 3 times. And this is how far I've gotten. That's where I'm at. So the border matched. That was exciting. I was happy about that. And these little trees with the stars on the top all around the edges. So I just got one of those in, and just part of a star, or a couple of different stars here in the top left corner. This is being stitched on the called for fabric, which is Weeks Dye Works Tin Roof. It's a beautiful color. I thought it was a little darker than what the image was on the pattern, but it's actually not bad now that I'm working with it. So that is the called for Weeks Dye Works Tin Roof. It's a 35 count linen. And I'm also using the called for floss, which is Weeks Dye Works and DMC. So that is Struttin. So I'll have a little more progress on that in a couple of weeks. And I've had another piece which wasn't in my plans, but I did start it. I started it on August 22nd as an anniversary start. My husband and I celebrated our 24th wedding anniversary on August 22nd. So I allowed myself a new start. This is Flowers of the Month. So it'll have 12 different flower 12 different flower designs, and it's on this large fabric. So this one will take some time. This design I saw on a Flosstube channel, Amy Loves Toads, and she has shown it in the past, and I noted, excuse me, I noted it because I really liked it. She's stitching it 1/1, and I am stitching this with the called for DMC 2/1. I'm sorry, 2/2 on let's see, what was this fabric? This is 28 count even weave Lugana on antique white. And this is a free pattern by EMS Designs. It's Ellen Maurer-Stroh. It's MAURER-STROH. And that is a free pattern. So I don't have a picture of what all the designs are because it is a free pattern online, and it just doesn't have a cover sheet. It's just the actual charts. But I can share with you what the name of each flower is. So January is the carnation. That's the one I'm working on now. I'm using the called for DMC floss, and they are much brighter than I thought from the image online. February is violets. Let's see, I printed out each page here, and I have them all in a 3-ring page protector so I can keep them all together. March is daffodils. April is sweet pea. And May is lily of the valley. June is wild rose. That one was really pretty. July is larkspur. Just beautiful blues on that one. August was gladiolas, which I love gladiolas. So these ones in this design are red, so I will definitely be keeping them red. September is aster. October is calendula. And November is chrysanthemum. It makes sense for the mums. And December is poinsettia. It's another really bright red one. So I'm excited about that. That one will be a little bit longer term project. So you'll see that come back again. Excuse me. A frog in my throat here this morning. So yes, the carnations. These are 63 by 63, so it's not huge. It's 4.5-inch squares. So then I have this little needle minder on here, which I got from 123 Stitch. It has roses with sheet music in the back. I believe that was by My Big Toe again. I love their needle minders. So that was the piece that I spent the most time on in the last 2 weeks. So that's what I've been up to. As far as stitching, I have not done any knitting. It was very, very hot here last week. This week hasn't been as hot. It's actually been quite cool. It's a big, big difference in weather temperatures. But I've been stitching, so I'll have to get back to the other projects to give you some updates on those pieces that I'm working on. I have been shopping. The piece that I will be starting, I believe in November. I think I'll plan this as a Veterans Day start, which is November 11th. And I've seen this on a couple of different videos. I think Janet Jabber had this as a finished piece, and I just adored it. My youngest son is a junior in high school this year. He has U.S. history, and he's been coming home sharing conversations in the class. So it convinced me, yes, I definitely want to start this piece sooner rather than later. So I have the pattern, and I have ordered the fabric and the floss, so that is coming from 123 Stitch. It should be here next week. But this is going to be a new start. One Nation by Bygone Stitches. It's quite large. It's like almost 2 feet by 3 feet, so it's pretty big. And I like how in each of the colored rows here we have, on the flag, we have the states, the name of each state is listed, and they're listed in order that they joined the Union. My oldest son is in the military. He is with the Vermont National Guards, and he works at Camp Johnson in the Armory. And actually, this is him, his senior picture. He went to military school in Virginia for 11th grade and 12th grade. It was an amazing experience for all of us. So, and then he did eventually decide to go into the National Guard and as a weekend job, and then it turned into a weekday job as well. So, so yes, so One Nation seems to be very appropriate. So he liked that a lot as well, as my youngest son. So that one is coming up in the near future. I did have, the floss has options between crescent colors and DMC. I showed my husband the two different colors. I was going towards the crescent colors, you know, the fancy floss. I like the, you know, slight variegation in the threads. And then my husband actually went for the DMC conversion because he liked that consistent, bright color. He said the flag should be solid. And because it calls for 24 skeins of floss, I went with the DMC because the cost. So yes, so that is on its way. So that one is exciting. And Lori on Mischievous Stitches shared this pattern and I loved it, so I had to buy it. I immediately ordered it. This is a Quaker pattern. It's just so, I don't know, something really drew me to this. I like this a lot. So this is Quaker Handwork by Brenda Gervais. So I do have a number of her patterns that I really like. So this is just a nice size and I like the colors. Her palette in there is beautiful. And I ordered the floss, or not the floss, excuse me, the fabric for this one. It is linen. I think it's the called for. Maybe not. No, it calls for 35 count espresso linen by R&R Reproductions, which was out of stock, so I went with something similar. I got khaki Belfast linen, which is a 32 count, but I like that color a lot, so I'll be happy with that. It's 32 count, so it's close. It might be just a tad smaller, but that's perfectly fine. So that one will be probably next year. I probably will not start that until 2022, but starting to kit it. So I purchased that. And this will be started in 2021. I've had this pattern for a few months. It's Threadworks Primitive Beggar's Night. And these are pretty popular, so you, I'm sure, have seen this before. So it's October 31st. Something like that. The reason I'm going to start this one sooner rather than later is my husband's birthday is October 31st. So not that it's a Halloween piece, because it's got the pumpkin and it's a little Halloweenish, but not too much. So I thought this would just be a neat piece to have framed and hung up for him. So it won't be done by his birthday, of course, but it will be started. And then I got the linen for this to work this on. This is, what does this say? This is Weeks Dye Works 35 count beige linen. It's an 8x12 piece. So nice and simple. I really like working on the Weeks Dye Works linen. I really like it. So that one will be started. I have to get the floss. I don't think I'll use the DMC floss for that, so I'll get that at my local Joann's. You've got a coupon. So that's what we'll do there. I closed my windows before I started the video today. I noticed when I played back my first video, there was a lot of background noise. I have ducks. There's 6 ducks. And on the first video, they were outside the window, just outdoors, and they made a lot of noise. I can hear them, and I keep seeing them chase each other by the window, so they caught my attention. And my dog, Gus, is keeping me company today. He is over on the living room couch. You might have heard him moving around over there. He's usually pretty quiet, as long as nothing shows up in the yard after the ducks, and he doesn't make a lot of noise. So he's good company. He's nice and quiet. Yes, I'm talking about you, Gus. So as I mentioned, I did a lot of shopping, so I have more. And because my Prairie Schooler Santa was completed, I thought I needed more. I actually have an idea of what I'd like to do with the Prairie Schooler Santas. I think I'd like to stitch them into like a lap quilt, just to have out during the holiday season. So it's my idea. It'll take some time. That'll be years before that gets done, but I did purchase some additional patterns to work on. So these are the Santa Revisited. What is this, 1987, 1993, and I think that's 1996. I can read it, yes, yes. So I have those three. They're so cute. And three others. The 2001 Santa. I like that partridge in a pear tree. So that one was cute. And then because we are an outdoorsy family, I thought these would be appropriate and my boys would appreciate them. This is the 2011 Santa with his snowshoes and all the snowballs in his sack there. So I got that one. And not that we're hockey players, but we all do know how to ice skate. And this one is the 2009 Santa. So with a hockey stick and skates. And then I bought the 6 pieces of fabric for each of those. So should be ready to go for that. I can start that whenever the mood strikes me. So there's those, and this other chart. I didn't take this out of the plastic. It's one of those fold over plastic packages, so I'll leave it in there. Hopefully the shine isn't too bad. Hopefully it's not too much glare. So this is a little sampler by Homespun Sampler. And this is an Irish prayer. He says, "May those who love you, and those who don't, may God turn their hearts. And if he cannot turn their hearts, may he turn their angle, so you will know them by their limp." I just thought that was hilarious. And I showed that to my husband, whose grandmother was Irish. And he just thought that was so funny. I said, maybe that's where you get your sense of humor, is this Irish side. So I just got this pattern. It was funny. I thought that would be just funny to hang in the house. And then I got fabric for it. Excuse me. I'm not convinced I like this fabric. I don't know about the color. It is by Witchell. It's 32 count desert sand. This pattern does call for a 32 count sand linen by Zweigart. This is desert sand, so it has much more of a I don't know, like reddish brown tone to it. I'm not convinced I like that one. I may have to think about that one for a little while. No hurry to start it either, so I just add it to my collection. And the last pattern I got was just a Quaker Farm, which is this one here. I really like that in the red. However, I think I might do it in blue. Blue is my favorite color. I was drawn to that. I liked the little motifs on here. So you've got the rooster, the watering can, got all the sheep, and the cow over here, some keys. Oh, and the ducks, of course, because I have ducks. So, and then all the flowers everywhere. My father grew up on a farm. He still has a little farmer in him. My husband jokes that I do too, and he didn't know that about me before we got married. We always have animals. I have rabbits and ducks, and of course my dog, my companion. Yeah, so I just thought this was neat. No rush on that. And that is Jardin Privé. Quaker de la Farm. So, a French name there. And of course, with all my patterns and fabric, I did get some floss. So these are just some that came in. I'm still waiting on, I think, on one more package. These are for several different charts. Yeah, so I'm just working on kitting up some other patterns that I have tucked away. So just add those, tuck those away. Everything hasn't been in stock, so whenever I place an order, I look through some of my patterns that I'm working on kitting, and I just add whatever might be in stock to them. So you'll see them at some point. Then, so we're at 26 minutes. So the last thing I'd show you, I mentioned last time that I wanted to make some more project bags. Obviously, I'm adding more projects to my WIPs, so I need some more bags. And I had said last time that I had a piece of fabric in the dryer, and I had forgot to bring it out and share it with you, and I thought it was probably the prettiest fabric. So this is the one. Let's see. Yeah, so I purchased this at Joann's. I just thought it was a beautiful fall fabric with the pine cones and the leaves. So I want to make a project bag for that one. And then, because I do have the Prairie Schooler Santas and the Struttin pattern, which I'll probably have more than one Christmas piece going at a time, so I said I needed another holiday project bag. So I picked up a couple of fabrics. This one, I don't remember if I shared this one or not. This is all the cardinals on the green background with a holly. I like that one. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to put a red at the top of the bag or if it should be a dark green. I'm undecided on that one. So I've got that planned, and then this one here. I know my mother would love this one. So it's got the like the wood kind of background with the pine cones and berries and boughs, little spruce boughs in there. So this one, the red, would be beautiful in that as well. I considered maybe a dark brown or maybe a green. I've got to go look through my fabric stash upstairs and see if I have any other options of what I have in stock. So I didn't see any browns or greens in the store that I liked with it when I purchased it, but so that is some of my near future plans to make a few more project bags. And I think I shared the squirrel fabric with you in the last video as well. So I have my work cut out for me. I still have knitting. I have socks to do for the holidays. I want to make some more project bags. And I was thinking about doing a project bag as a giveaway in the near future. I'm not sure what kind of goal that will be, but I'll think about that. I still have to make it, so just a thought. See if there's anything else I wanted to mention today. I did say I had some life updates that I thought I'd share. So I know I'll do the video in 2 weeks. We'll see how much I get done, because it will, even though it'll be 2 weeks time, I'll only have 1 week to actually work on anything. My husband and I are leaving tomorrow on a backpacking trip for a week. It'll be a little less than a week, 5 or 6 days, but we leave tomorrow morning. Our middle son, Nate, up here, he will be staying at the house, taking care of all the animals for us, and he will drive us to our starting point, and then hopefully he'll be picking us up when we finish at our stopping point. So it'll be about 50 miles distance. I should be packing right now, but I'm doing a Flosstube video. So I know my husband won't see this. Yeah, so we've been section hiking the long trail here in Vermont. So we started down in Massachusetts, and then you hike up on the trail to the border of Mass, and then the trail goes all the way through Vermont, north and south, up to the Canadian border. So it's about 273 or 275 miles. I forget exactly, but it's in that ballpark. Just a little shy of 300 miles, 270 something. And we did 3 years ago, we did our first section hike down in Massachusetts. We did about a little over 50 miles. Our middle son, Nate, was 16 at the time, and he went with us. That section of the long trail is the same section of the Appalachian Trail, so the two trails are combined. So it was quite busy. We did it this same time of year in September over Labor Day. So we're gonna do that again. I thought the weather temperatures were perfect for hiking. And it was just beautiful. The trees are starting to turn this year. Actually, I'm looking at some outside. They have some red tint to them, so the leaves are starting to change. 2 years ago, we did the second leg. Again, it was just over 50 miles. And our son didn't go with us. It was just the two of us. So we had a good time on that one. Again, it also overlaps the Appalachian Trail. So again, it was busy. We did that one in July. It was hot. Yeah, it was hot. So we didn't hike last year with COVID, everything being shut down. We just said, no, we're not going out on the trail. We did hear that the trails were busy. A lot of people were out hiking, just trying to get outdoors. But we opted to take last year off due to the COVID situation. So we're gonna pick it up again this year where we left off, which is in Killington, Vermont. And then we're trying to hike through to the the Lincoln Gap, which is just shy of 50 miles. So yeah, so that starts tomorrow. So tomorrow morning we're headed out, and we'll probably go into Killington, check the town out a little bit before we start, and be able to use that as a check off on our 251 progress, which, if you're new here, 251 is the 251 Club, I should say, is a group. There are 251 towns in Vermont. So it's a group that you can check off each town as you go and you visit the town. So on our anniversary, my husband and I went to dinner in Montpelier, which is the state's capital. We go to Montpelier all the time, so it seemed kind of funny. You don't want to just check it off because you've been there hundreds of the times, but we went out to dinner, and then we took a walk down State Street. We went to the Capitol front lawn, looked at some of the statues and monuments that were there, looked at the building architectures, kind of read the little plaques that talk about the time frame that the buildings were built, little bit about them. So then we checked off Montpelier. So we did that. So maybe we'll try to do that with Killington before we head out on the trail. The last time we ended at Killington, and we finished our hike a day earlier than we had initially planned. So we stayed at the Long Trail Inn, or the Inn at the Long Trail. I think it's the Inn at the Long Trail. I can't remember. We stayed overnight there, and got to soak in a tub, shower, and have a hot dinner. Burger was great. So we talked about going down tonight, staying at the same inn, and then starting on the trail tomorrow. But we decided, if my husband's working today, and that might just be a little bit too much, trying to make sure everything is ready, all the gear is set, before it just might be too rushed. So we'll go in the morning. So there's that. And that's why my stitching may not have a lot of progress, in my wedding sampler piece won't get any stitching next week. It'll be, hopefully the week after. I do have a few more days of vacation when we get back. So I should get some dedicated time to wrap that piece up. So my youngest son, I don't have a picture of him here. My youngest son, I mentioned, started his junior year of high school, and he is doing the culinary program at the vocational school this year. So he is actually enjoying it. He's not one that has liked school. He's often complained about it, but this year he's really happy. He's having a lot of fun. The boys have always been in the kitchen with me growing up, and as teenagers, they all had, the younger two, my oldest was away at boarding school, but the younger two had to prepare a dinner for us once a week. So it was their job. And I said, I don't care what you cook. You just tell me, and I'll put it on the grocery list, make sure you have what you need, and you'll cook dinner. So they're very, very good in the kitchen. All the boys actually can cook really well. So he's going to enjoy his junior year of high school. So that was exciting. It's kind of a relief too. Not sure if that's what he wants to do as a career, but he's having fun with it, and I'm fine with that. I said he'll learn skills that he will have for the rest of his life. So I am pleased there. Interesting thing though is the school bus schedules have changed in our district tremendously this year. We now have 2 school buses that come and do pickups at our bus stop. There's one at the 7 o'clock time, which is what the kids have always, been there at 7 to meet the bus, which is now just the elementary school kids. And then the second bus comes, it takes the kids to the elementary school, and then it comes back and does the route again and picks up the high school, middle school kids, so middle school and high school, and then does their route again. That bus comes at 8 o'clock, but because my son is going to the vocational school, he has to meet the bus to go there at 7:45. So he can't ride the first bus, which doesn't even go to the pickup point where the bus to the vocational school goes. So I have to drive him to the bus stop where the vocational school bus will pick him up in the morning. So I have to bring him and drop him off at 7:30, which is strange because I work from home now. It used to be normal, just my routine trip to the office, but now we are working from home all the time. So I had to get back into that routine myself. To get up in the morning and be ready to be out the door, at 7 o'clock, to take the kids to school, and as if I was going to the office, but then I turn around and drive back home. So routine changes, we'll get used to it soon. So it's been 40 minutes, so I am going to wrap up. I hope everybody has a great couple of weeks, and I will talk with you again. Hopefully have some progress on these things that I've talked about, and my fabric and floss should be here for the One Nation piece, which I plan to start, I think, November on Veterans Day, which is also my middle son's birthday and my father's birthday. So we do have a lot of celebrating on Veterans Day. So it'll be a good day for a new start, especially a patriotic piece. So again, goodbye everybody. Take care, be well, talk to you soon.